Hello, everyone. We are not live right now. I definitely am not hosting another Podquester Mini with my good friend Louie here. And if you do not get what I'm doing, obviously it's a play on the opposite challenge from the punishment round. Speaking of last night's game, let's talk about last night's game. Louie, what are your thoughts on last night's game?
Always fun. I mean, honestly, any sequester is fun sequester. As I said yesterday, it really has taken up all of my weekends now from start to finish. But, you know, anything compared to Friday was going to be a bit slower, right? Like there was no way to assume that it would be anywhere near that level. But I still think it was a lot of fun to watch. I think we saw, I mean, in my opinion, one of the most strategically dominant games by a winner from start to finish. Like from start to finish, Jacob really controlled the game. I think we saw some fun characters. I think we had one of the best pre-jury boots in terms of fan favorites. That was extremely likable, and overall, it was still a lot of fun to watch. So I'm excited to discuss it.
I am maybe more excited than you, Louie. I'm trying to make this a competition, but I'm just so excited. So let's not. I don't want to waste another second. I'm sorry, I can't. Let's get them in.
Please
here.
don't.
So joining us first, we have former Sequester Mini player, fan favorite, divisive player when he played last time. We have Tony joining us. Tony, how's it going?
Hi. Y'all are not nearly as excited to talk about this season of Sequester as I am. I am overflowing with absolute excitement from top to bottom, start to finish. And I've just got one question for the both of you.
Hit us with it.
Hey, whose name are you hearing?
Oh, I don't know. Whose name are you hearing?
Please move on.
Okay. We'll talk about it later. Well, thanks for joining us. We're happy to have you. If you are supposedly as excited as you say you are, only time will tell. Joining us next, we have the aforementioned pre-jury boot that was so loved. We have Tristen, smiley face as he's known. Hi,
hey.
Tristen. Oh, hey, how's it going?
I just gotta say that whenever someone says, "Who are you hearing?" it's probably gonna be me. So,
words of wisdom,
it's true.
Tristen, and honestly, probably very, very true. Okay,
very true.
Joining us next, we have her from game after game after game. She's a player. She's a shark. She is coming for you. She's gonna win one of these minis eventually. We have Sarah Rob Queen. How's it going, Sarah? Can you you're good?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Ooh, obviously not the most technologically savvy girl in the world. I'm good. Happy to be here. First podcast ever. Thank you so much.
Of course. No problem. Happy to have you. And last but not least, certainly not. He won last night. We have Jacob joining us. Last night's winner.
Yes, sir.
Hey, wow. What an entrance. How's it going, guys? Happy to have all of you here in one setting so we can really dive in and get into nitty-gritty last night's game. Just before we begin, I did this yesterday, and we only had one biter. We'll see if anyone else wants to take the time. I'm going to open up the floor if anyone has any points or anything they want to talk about before we dive into the game talk. Yes, Tony, go for it.
Can we just take a second to throw it out for Dane? Oh my God. Like the level of just absolute, complete emotional instability and the breakdown that kid did over the course of that game last night was just spectacular. But I got to say, it's like in the Millennials versus Gen X season of Survivor, at the end after the family visit when Adam and Jay were sitting in the hammock and Adam like tearfully talks about how his mom is dying of cancer. And Jay's like, oh I'm a professional. Oh, you're such a good. I was like, man, this fucking guy's winning and he's fucking using the mom has cancer card. I fucking hate this guy. Don't fucking do this. Don't do the cancer thing to win this game. And I was so mad through the rest of the season. Later, it wasn't really about the cancer. I wanted Hannah to win, but what it is. But with Dane, it's like my best friend. Oh, my best friend died 2 years ago, and if I could just win Sequester right now. Oh my God, my best friend died, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was like, holy shit, dude. You're like taking the memory of your best friend, you're digging him out of the grave, and you're just dragging it through the fucking mud to win a game that doesn't even have a prize. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just to be clear, are we talking about Dane or Dash? Because you said Dane.
Oh, I'm talking about Dash. Oh,
So you have the chat
gotta
very
go.
confused right now. You have the
sorry.
chat very confused right now.
Sorry, chat. I know I'm talking about Dash, but I said the wrong name. But yeah, I was talking about Dash. Dash, awkward. Thank you,
Sorry,
Angelica.
that was funny. That was funny.
The chat knew though. The chat knew what you
I
meant.
think.
Yeah, we put it together.
Quarantine brain. What can I say?
Wow. Thank you for opening up the floor. Anyone else want to take the moment now to talk about anything?
Wait, I want to say a thing. When Tony, I watched you when you first played, and I thought you were hysterical. And I know that a person was removed, and like it wasn't an eviction on the first round, but you were the person that got voted out. Do you think if like the game didn't happen that way, where your votes got revealed and where you kind of had to put like 5 people up, and where you kind of had to throw like fuck yous and all this, bitches and blah, 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 out there, do you think your game would have been as aggressive and as like in your face?
No,
if that initial moment didn't happen.
Being voted out set me free in a way. Like at that moment, I knew that whatever happened, I had already fucked it up as worse as I possibly could. So every moment after that vote was borrowed time, and I could do whatever I want. I'm very grateful. Like that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me and for me, because I would never not play the same way again. If I ever get to play again, I'm swinging for the fences from start to finish, and we're gonna do that, because I think that's maybe not a winning game, but certainly one that brought me a lot of joy in the moment of playing.
Yeah. It was interesting too, because it was Emily, who's already won, who went out first because her internet went out. And it's a good thing, honestly, that she did, because I mean we wouldn't have gotten to see the brilliance of Tony creating chaos for the entire game, and what was a pretty slow mini that one was, if it wasn't for you and a few other people. So it worked out for the best.
Oh, that's very generous of for the words that you've chosen, and I'll take it. Thank you.
Wait, I want to say one more thing. Tristan, I never talked to you in that game that we played yesterday. Yeah, and I never talked to you. So when I got online, I was like, no, he was robbed. I was like, oh, I never spoke to him like at any time. And I don't think I voted against you that round either. I don't think so.
No, because I think only 4 people voted. I don't know who all voted for me. I know that Amanda voted, Zach voted, Angelica voted, and somebody else did, but I don't remember who.
No.
But yeah, Jacob, I barely talked to you, but you were never a target of mine because I knew that you voted for Caden in the first round.
Oh, I did, yeah.
The only time I threw your name out was the even odd round, because I didn't want Sarah to really go either, because I could tell that she's one of my few supporters. So literally I was just telling groups of 2 to vote for random people all over the place. And as soon as we muted, I'm like, dang, I should have said Jacob, but he was, when I looked at the screen, he was the bottom left corner name. So I'm like, I just threw him out. But,
well, hey, next time let's not throw out Jacob, okay?
Yep, free game alliance. Here we go. All of you. I need somebody.
Tristan, I wish you had social media, because I feel like so many people from our games would have slid into your DMs being like, oh, I love you so much. And you could have seen all those people.
Yeah, I barely even know what that means. But, oh well.
The DMs were popping yesterday.
That's a good thing, Tristan, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, we were talking about that before. I don't know. Tony seems to believe I'm lying about this because, I did quite a few lies in the game.
So, this is my commentary on the first actual round of gameplay and what I noticed from you, Tristan. But I think I would, if we're going round by round, I would save what I thought about that for that moment.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know. It was just so hard because my entire strategy going into the game was to lie low, and then as soon as someone said my name, then start to go on the attack. But then my name got brought up 30 seconds into the game, so it's okay, the entire strategy out the window.
I was so mad that y'all went after Caden early. Like that really genuinely kind of hurt my, because he was like, you're watching these videos and it's like, I'm riding on a paddleboard. I look like Jesus. I'm a fan of Big Brother. I like cartoons, and then like when you have people that really pop in the videos, I know that that's something that's going to make people want to target that person. Like I really liked Angelica talking to her cat. And the lady, oh no, Angelica was the orphan, right?
I think it was.
I think Angelica, I don't remember.
Angelica, the videos were harder to follow last night.
Right.
With that threw me all off. I actually rewatched them to try to piece it together as to who was who. But
Caden said he had high functioning autism. Like that was his hook coming into the game. I was like, holy shit. Like, are we gonna watch, like, this is what we're gonna do is watch a guy play with autism? This is exciting. And it was like one round later, like he was voted out, and I was like, oh well.
I really don't think he was targeted because his video was interesting, because I didn't even remember who he was. Granted, I also was not really paying attention to the videos.
It's probably also true that the fact that the videos were lagged did not help anybody. But yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to say, I think I can take kind of full responsibility for this because I did throw out his name initially, but I only heard like the evil dick part of it, and I am so against evil dick, and so that was why.
Evil dick.
Well, that's bad taste, but
yeah, I know. I was
Evil
so,
Dick and
like,
Ronnie. An odd combination.
I really like you, Sarah, but like I was kind of mad when Caden didn't put you up because you were like one of the ones who like brought him up first.
I know, and I was ready for it. I wouldn't have cared, But.
Yeah, the only reason why I went for him is because Naveed also said that his name got brought up, and some people were telling me to push for Sheldon, but I thought that Caden would have more traction, so it was absolutely like nothing personal. Like I actually really wanted to work with him going into it, but after I heard that he was I was done with it.
I felt bad after.
I love Tristan's opening gambit. He was like, I've actually never heard of this game before. I've never played anything like this. I don't know how I got in here. And
yeah, we need to know, is there any validity to that, Tristan? Is that true at all?
Help me, please. And then he went like right into another room and was like, oh, hi. I've never actually played this game before. I just discovered this. I was like, this motherfucker's reading a script. Like, this is lying. He's lying. You can see it. Don't believe him.
It's a very niche game to randomly find and somehow pay for your patron to become a patron randomly somehow for something you've never heard of and never watched.
He was recruited. He was recruited.
He's a recruiter.
No, my master plan was to I have a friend who's really into these games, and they were talking about Big Brother 17, which Audrey was on. So the friend told me about Sequester, so I'm like, okay, sure, let's try this out. And my plan was to only say that for the very first round because I knew eventually it'd end up spreading. That they thought that like everyone else thought that I wasn't much of a fan. But
I was so pissed when Billy got left, by the way.
Huh?
I was actually super pissed when Billy left because I was in the room with him and then he knew because I was in a room by myself. And this was the round that JC, it was talks about JC leaving.
We'll definitely get to that. We'll get to that. I'm sorry. So yeah, so we're talking intro videos. We're talking round one. Caden's going out round one. Standard vote. Caden then got to put up 5 people up for elimination in the second round. And he put up Billy, Dane, Frankie, Sheldon, and Tristan.
And I was up.
And Jacob. There were 6 people up.
And Jacob. Okay. And Jacob. So going into that second round, I mean, already, what are you guys thinking? What's the plan? How are you working to try and get the target off your back and onto someone else? Yeah, go ahead, Tristan.
My plan was to go straight for Sheldon, and right away, we'll see. At the start of that round, I started with, what was his name? Marcelo, and I knew he voted for me, so immediately I left, and I just started yelling out Sheldon, and I think that round, like, I know the first round I was really close to being out. I think the second round I was actually pretty good, and like me being like super duper nervous when I'm mute, like that was fairly genuine, but also like somewhat of a way to get sympathy from the other players.
I think people definitely felt, at least in the early rounds, like very protective of you. Like it definitely did work with a decent amount of the cast in terms of people wanting to look out for you and wanting to, you know, teach you the game and make sure that you stayed around. It did, you know, it worked early on until they all realized what was actually, what the hustle was.
That's the problem. Your story like had a lot of weight at the very first purchase of the game, and it did catch on. But the problem is that you're a wolf in sheep's clothing, and pretty soon, like some of the more complex rounds were coming, and you were coming with like strategies of how to approach the evens and odds and just different things. And I was like, this kid's really giving himself away and playing really hard, and like he's gonna get busted. And sadly, he did.
Well, see, my thing was that I don't feel like I had another option. Like if I would have just acted dumb for so long, I feel like I would have gone out even earlier than I did. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like the only way I could have made it any farther was the round that I got eliminated, because I know we'll get to it later, but I feel like I could have made it one round more and then I would have been out. But yeah, I won't go too far.
Yeah. Because people were targeting you before they even talked to you. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Do any of you know, like, who are watching, like, all the other rooms?
I don't know. Because I thought your video was good. I thought your video was compelling.
I don't know where your name started out, but I do know that in the first round, it was you, Billy, and Caden going around the most.
For like the first 10 rounds, names didn't start anywhere. People would just walk into a room and say, hey, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Hey, what do you do? Oh, I don't know.
Last night's game was really bad.
I'm hearing some names. Where did you hear my name? Oh, I don't know where I heard your name. I'm trying to remember.
EVH.
Yeah. I know Ivan was throwing out your name quite a bit. That's the one that I know of.
He was in my original room though.
2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, he was not a Tristan fan.
He's not loyal to the soil with those original.
Loyal to the soil.
Yeah. The original room, Ivan was the only one that I got bad vibes from. Sarah, I've watched before multiple times and know that she's pretty upfront. So I thought that I could probably work with her, and Frankie seemed pretty nice too. So.
I don't know if there's any validity to this, but this comment says, Tristan said something in his intro video like, I don't like to be up late. And then someone was like, well, then let's let him go to sleep. I think that sounds right, actually. I think I remember hearing someone say, well, let's put him in bed.
I think that might have been, because I think I walked into the room with that. I think that might have been Angelica, because I think she was pretty hard against me. I was kind of thinking that she might have brought me up at the very beginning, too.
Yeah, I think one of the things about you, Tristan, which really endeared the audience is it's hard in a game like this that's so strategy based. Like it's so much that's really all you get. You had really good like character moments in your short time. Like you're by far the most hydrated Sequester contestant we've ever seen. Like there was so much water I had to pee just watching you, and the amount of water you consumed in like a half-hour period. Your leopard blanket, phenomenal. Like, you know, you looked like a Russian grandma. It was incredible. Like there was these moments that really like endeared, you know, the audience to you.
Yeah. Sarah was in my original room, so she can probably attest that I was drinking a ton of water during like way more than I was even during the game, during that hour time.
Oh yeah. Tristan's actually 40 years old. He's just very hydrated.
Well, in the second round, when you were up as a flop, you were going around and people were considering voting you out again. But then I remember specifically, like, Sarah, you were in a room at one point and you were pushing that, like, well, his name's already going around. Let's leave him in as a target for now and let's get out someone else. So then, you know, it flipped.
I want to quote Naveed, who in the second round said, Tristan is definitely going out pre-jury. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's confidence. Like, She's planning 4 votes ahead.
She's a queen.
She's got eyes for the end game from the beginning. I was like, I'm watching the beat.
I love the beat.
Can we talk about this a little bit more? Was this in this round? Were you trying to pitch like not voting yourself, Tristen, and Sarah?
This was near the end of the first round. So I believe Sarah was telling me there was a bad pitch, just saying that like I'm not a fan. But the thing was, I don't know. I didn't really listen to that too much because my plan was to only use that for the first round anyway. So I mean, it was nice because it kind of showed that you were loyal to me.
Yeah. Well, the problem was people wouldn't stop saying your name. So if there's not another name going around, if you're just pitching not you but not someone else, then like you go home. You know.
Yeah.
That was my thought.
Yeah, that's true. I felt like after you told me that, I felt like I was really pushing hard on to Caden, whereas before I still was, but not quite as much.
It does seem like you kind of kicked it into gear a little bit after that point. So then, end of the second round, we ended up with Sheldon being eliminated. That moved us into round 3, 18 players left. And this was where Audrey deemed that the audience wasn't eating up the game as much as she had been the night before. So she put out her first audience poll. Yes, Sarah, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah. This is when I was like, this is the dullest, lacking flavor cast I've ever seen. Audrey tells everyone that the audience is not entertained. And you know what the cast does? Let's vote out Sarah. I was so mad. I was like, what is going on? Like, do they not realize that this is a fucking show? Oh, I was so mad.
I want to answer this real quick.
Was that when you got out of our room and then me and Navi was like, let's do Sarah? Was that at that time?
That was funny.
So yeah, with that round, the audience got to vote on who they wanted to put up as flops, and the round that they chose by 36% was Room 4 with Sarah, Marcelo, Craig, Jacob, and Navi. So
that was that. But I honestly think that was strictly based on just like she left first, and it was like, okay, let's just go around and like say that.
No,
and then me and Sarah got into
forgiving.
And, me and Sarah got into a room together too after that, and we were just like, okay, we're good, we understand each other, and let's move forward.
Yeah,
but that round was stressful as heck.
Yeah,
that round was. Was that
when Craig went?
That was the one where Craig went. So
I didn't care about that round.
So I had an LOS that round.
Did you play it?
No, and I was very stressed about it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Jesse, I like asked Jesse. I was like, "Do you think how much traction is my name getting?" He's like, "I think you're fine." I was like, "Okay, I'm really trusting Jesse right now because my name's definitely going to be talked about next round." So I felt like I needed the LOS, you know.
Yeah, I do feel like your name was going around early, but then I feel like somehow it got shifted to Craig. But I don't know how it got shifted to Craig though.
I don't know.
My alliance. I think like Jesse, Frankie, maybe Dane. Dane went for me later, but I think that round, they helped me.
Jesse and Frankie and Dane, your alliance.
Billy and Marcus were also on Team Sarah, so they might have been helping too. I felt like Billy and Marcus would have like anytime I went to a room with them in it, I just left because I felt like I didn't need to protect myself in those rooms.
Yeah. That was one of the things I was wondering because it seemed, I mean, this is a trend in every single game, but you know, Sarah, you became a target early on because you had played before, and that's always a thing, you know.
It's bullshit.
Well,
like I haven't done that well, you know what I mean? Like literally Jesse and Jacob here made it Final Four. You know what I mean? Like they're better than me on paper.
That's
Sarah,
my exact point.
Sorry, go ahead, Louie. Finish up.
Well, I was going to say, is it really a hindrance in the game? Because I feel like the names always come up of people who have played before and people who have seen you. They automatically say, oh, that's a big threat. But it seems in the game, the people who have played before almost always go to the end, right? It's always like they're a target. We'll keep them around. We'll keep them around. We'll keep them around. You very rarely see people who have played before get voted out very early on. They almost always go to the end. So is it a detriment to really
the universe right now? And I don't like it. Like they do always go to the end. Maybe we should just take out the people they know first.
Like I didn't think that was a thing because I mean with Sarah, I played with Sarah before. And I wasn't necessarily aligned with her. We like had like good chemistry and things like that, but I wasn't necessarily like riding with her, like working together wise. But like I didn't think that was necessarily a thing because even for me, I know Sarah has played way more, but even for me, I never even brought up the fact that I played and made like third that round. And so I don't know. I just don't feel like that's. I mean, I feel like sometimes it paints like big attention on you. I don't feel like that's a big enough reason for like, oh, let's send them home. You know.
Yeah, I think it depends on the cast too.
I mean, the game moves so fast that what you've brought to the table, what histories you've had, even the previous round, like it's all moving so quickly. The only thing you have is what story can you tell right now that can make the end of the round happen in a way that doesn't kill you, you know, like, and that's like the best you can do. So trying to like, it clearly it's previous returning. That's a good, they had a good video, they had a bad video, whatever. All of those are like potential stories and they can be a thing or not a thing depending on how well you can sell them. But like to hold on to stuff, I think is a tough thing to do because it just means you're not thinking about that moment. I'm curious, Jacob, what are you thinking in the first part of this game, like these first 2 or 3 rounds? Because I know there's a certain point in my head where you really wake up, but like, what are you trying to do? Like, coming right into this thing, like, what's your establishing mindset?
Coming right into this game, I think I do a very good job at like forming allies and forming strong ties with different people. And so I think like creating that first room, I mean, like, creating the room that I was in and like, hey, we're good. And I kind of wanted to slide under the radar, and I was up the first 3 nominations. And I went around and everyone was saying, oh, I haven't heard your name. So I was like, okay, good. So I can just have time talking to people instead of like, hey, campaigning for like me to stay if y'all haven't heard my name. And so that was more my game. It's just like, how can I maintain these relationships further on instead of just like, hey, let's formulate a plan to like get this person out.
By round 4, who were the 3 people that you trusted the most?
Round 4.
Which, by the way, to be specific, was the majority vote twist.
Majority vote. Oh, I wasn't in the majority that round.
Yeah,
I wasn't in the majority that round, but I think Marcelo. I think me and Naveed have talked by that point. I want to say we have, and I trusted Naveed 100%. And I trusted Frankie a little bit early on. But as we all saw, that was like, oh, JC, yes, JC. I trusted JC, and we'll get to that later. But I love JC, and I wanted to work with him so bad. So Marcelo, Naveed, and JC.
I appreciated the dynamic between you two, Jacob and Sarah, and that every time you would see Sarah, you would be like, are we okay? Are we okay? Are we together? And Sarah's like, yes, aren't we together? We've been together since the beginning. Like, why don't you think we're together?
It was always an insecurity for me. It really was always an insecurity because I felt
because
like
you vote me out all the time, so a rational person wouldn't work with you. But I'm not rational.
That's why I kind of had like this like hard on to make sure like, hey, make sure we're good 1,000% at every time I get a chance to talk to her. Even though I didn't believe that we were actually good 100%.
No, we were never good.
Yeah, and so even though I didn't believe
your enemy's closer, bitch.
Hey, and so that's why I was like, okay, just let me keep whatever word it is, like just making her seem like, okay, we're good. But I didn't think she didn't believe me. I don't think
I was a little desperate for allies too, honestly. Like no one, like, the only person I felt like who talked game with me was Jesse. You know, like,
I talked game with you.
I really liked him.
But was it real game? I don't know. You know, like
I think it was the game that I wanted you to know at that point.
And so like I truly thought a lot of people were against me, but then I realized people just weren't talking game in general. You know what I mean?
Actually, I feel like I had a lot of game conversations.
Oh, so maybe just
the majority twist is also where Sarah was coming up with this really elaborate plan to get everyone on board to vote for one person, but don't tell that one person who that person's going to vote for, so that they're going to be the only. And I was like,
failed.
I think up to that moment, everybody was being real timid, and I was really annoyed because I couldn't see anything start. I couldn't see anything. Everyone was playing a very reactive game. They were asking the other people what it was. They weren't really putting something commanding out there. And this was the first real sign that I saw of someone like, fuck it, we're going to play a game. And it was you, and you were like, we're going to do this thing. And this thing, I was like, this has too many moving pieces. It's too elaborate. It's never going to fucking work. God, I love that she's trying something. Thank God. Wake up, people. Wake up.
Because can I tell you my thought process with that too is, let's say for some reason everyone, like the person votes for themselves and it just happens that everyone votes for that one person. Then it just goes to a normal vote round, which like, is that really a big deal? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the worst case scenario is it's a normal vote, and so I was like,
a big deal because I'd probably go home.
oh, you're right, Bill. You're right. I don't know.
Wait, did
And also,
Tristen
I
go
think
home
people
on
are-
that round?
No,
So,
I
there's a
campaigned for
majority.
myself to go out. I made it like I think I was like the 8th one out. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of
I
annoyed
really
at you
don't
though
remember.
because you were like, I'm in the majority. I'm like, if you voted with us, you would have been in the majority because it was literally 50-50.
Yeah, you
No,
placed
I don't think
13th.
was it? I don't
It
think
was.
it was. I
Like,
thought
it was like
9 people
8-7.
voted for me.
No, it was like
Yeah.
8-7.
Oh,
I
really?
counted.
One,
pretty
two,
sure.
three.
So
I could be
people in the
wrong.
minority
Maybe.
that round two then were up were Billy, Jesse, Frank, Jacob, JC, Adam, Marcus, and Sarah. That
Yup.
was the minority vote, resulting in Marcus being eliminated.
Yeah, which
Justice
I played
for
in
Marcus.
Jake,
Team
you had
Marcus.
a really shitty
Team
early
Marcus.
game. Like you weren't in the majority on this vote. You were picked by the audience as the most boring. Like it's good. Like you really came back on the thing. Like playing the way you did, like put you in a lot of danger early on.
Me?
Jacob.
Oh, Jake?
Oh,
Jacob?
me? Yeah, I know. I was stressed.
You were
out
called the
first
most
three rounds
boring?
because I was
In the room.
I was in the room. Yeah, I was in the room.
So was Sarah.
And I was
Sarah
like,
was also
That was
in the
because of
minority.
Marcel. Marcel's the reason why we got put up.
You think so?
did people not like him?
Yes.
People
I
were
don't-
saying
I
Marcella
didn't
was
like him.
bullying Tristen early on in the game.
Oh,
I thought he
really?
was more of a creep than boring, honly.
Yeah, I didn't see that interaction. I didn't really know the extent of it, but yeah.
I didn't see
Yo.
the interaction either, and I was so confused on like the first 3 rounds. I was like, "Yo, what the hell?" And my name hasn't been checking. I was like, "Okay, I'm doing something," but I was stressed out because I just never knew. And I had a LOS at that point too, which I'm super glad I never played.
Yeah.
That
I was
is
such an
for
ego though.
sure.
I was like, I literally was like, there's no way my room's getting put up, guys. We're safe. In my head, like audience.
No,
loved it.
me too. Me too.
And then we got put up. I was like, damn, did I say something bad? My
Round
cancel.
7 is where I fell in love with Jacob.
Round 7.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, I thought
Yes,
that
we
was
could
wrong.
we could move along to that. That would move us past the room roulette in round 5, in which Troy was voted out and an LOS was played.
Oh, I was stressed. I was in the room by myself that round.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you lucked
and
out.
we got to watch
yeah.
you go through the full range of human emotions, of the crying, of the stress, of the thing, and then you threw water on yourself when you won. Like it was. I felt like you were like real kind of tight from that point, and then in that moment, like you just went through the long dark night of the soul and came out the other end ready to fucking play. Like that was.
No, I do think I needed that adrenaline rush to be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed out, and I knew this wasn't like I wasn't able to do this, but I even messaged Arjun like, am I? Because she was like, go to room 4. She was like, wait, you're good. And I was like, crap. And I was like, well, could I possibly still play at LOS if I get? She was like, no, I'm sorry. And I was like, shit. And so it was.
Do we know who played the LOS that round? Does anyone know?
No idea.
Wait,
Wasn't me. I wish I could have.
Who was in the room? Like, who was on the block?
So for that round, for the safety roulette, that was when Amanda, JC, Frankie, and Angelica and Troy were up. LOS was played. Troy was voted out.
Oh, because there was rumors that Jacob played one for JC, but I don't think that happened, right?
No, I didn't play one. I was going to.
JC did.
Oh,
okay.
JC did. Dang.
Dang. Oh,
Good
good
job,
thing you
JC.
wasted, Jacob.
No,
That
I was
round-
going to play it. I never played it for him. I was going to.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you would have wasted it. You both would have played.
Oh
it.
yeah, I would have
You know
wasted it. Yeah.
After the
that-
roulette, after Troy was voted out, we had 15 players left in the game. We had round 6, where it was the highest even number vote. Votes would be revealed. There was a drag. That round, there was lots of Tristen and Billy going around. And it ended up resulting in a tie between Jesse and Billy. Billy was eliminated on the revote by Tristen.
I was pissed.
I
I
was
was so mad.
Yeah, and then Billy did his eeny meeny my
What
eeny
the
meeny mo
fuck,
thing.
Billy? What the fuck are you doing?
He's in the chat.
Oh, I love that.
Good. I'm calling
Yeah.
you out, Benny. Any, meeny, miny, mo. Fucking lazy.
He said that
Lame.
He was referencing
dragging
some
somebody.
player,
This
but
is
I
your
don't know.
moment. You have a moment right now to do something interesting. I want to see how you feel. I don't want any, meeny, miny, mo. Cut your tucker by the toe. I'm just gonna do. But I think it's like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Give me some fucking blood.
No, I was super pissed even when he chose Navi because Navi was my girl, and I was like, dang, I really don't want her. I didn't know she had LOS, but I was so happy. But I did not want Billy to go that round because I was in a room by myself and I was contemplating, and I think out loud a lot. And I was like, should I use it on him? Billy came in and he was like, should you use what on who? And I was like, shit. And so after that, he knew I had an LOS that round. And I was like, so we got into another room, but I always liked Billy. I knew he was moderator, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, yo, and I've been wanting Jesse out. I think that round I started to want Jesse out.
Yeah.
And I was super pissed when Billy left. I was like, Billy would have been loyal to me, but
I actually think it might have.
Does anyone know? Can you put that on a revote?
No.
Or is that gone?
I
you
think
can't.
so. No.
You can't, because my first game, I went home on a Revo, and I had an LOS, and I thought I was safe that round.
I was saying, Louie, when we had the tie, I asked Audrey if I could play one.
Or no, that was you, Mallory. Never mind. I'm thinking of your game.
Louie, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, I actually think it helped your game that Billy went out when he did, only because Billy, there were a lot of people early on going to Billy. Like, I mean, let's be honest, a large amount of the cast were not sharks, right? They were looking for direction. Like Jesse had people who were coming to him. Billy had a large amount of people who were coming to him. How do we play this round? What do we do?
Jesse.
And I think a portion of those, once he was gone, then went to you and needed direction from you. So you kind of took over a portion of his people, which helped you a large amount in the game.
That makes sense.
So my strategy for that round was to, I think I mentioned it earlier, to get groups of 2 to vote random people. Because the less people that could vote for me, the easier it would be for everyone to coordinate an even number of votes on me. So I did vote for myself that round to prevent myself from getting dragged by anybody. And then in the revote, I knew Jesse would drag me if I voted for him. And so I did vote for Billy, sadly. But yeah, I mean, I liked him. But.
And Billy told Frankie that I had LOS. And then that was the first time Frankie got upset with me in that round.
Yeah, first time.
First time.
I got a question for the room. Oh, wait, what's Billy's question? Can we talk more about me?
Yeah, so you were just touching on that, Jacob. We're going to talk more about Jacob.
Yeah, so I think I left the room. So it was after we were all in the room, and I think Billy, it was that round that Billy left. And I left the room, but then I came back, and then it was only him and Frankie. And then Frankie was like, Jacob! And then Billy was like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just excited. And then there was another person in there. I think it was Zach. And then Frankie was like, how come you didn't tell me? And I was like, I'm not saying anything. He was like, oh, now you don't want to say anything? I was like, I'm not going to say anything with 3 people in the room and say, hey, I have an LOS, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to keep my mouth closed as long as I can. And that was the first time Frankie was upset with me in that.
Never before has What's Up Frankie caused so much drama.
If you feel like you're in danger in the even vote twist, do you put the vote on yourself?
I actually did end up voting for myself that round.
I don't think I would.
This was my thing. I went to every room and literally I was like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of groups of 4 because Audrey, usually she has it as rooms of 3. And so it's really hard to navigate the even numbers, but she actually had it as rooms of 4. And so I was like, okay, there's going to be a ton of people that are just going to have the 4 room blocks, And then everyone was saying they were voting for Tristen. So I was like, it's me. I literally was like, if no one's telling me names or is only saying Tristen, I was like, I'm just going to put a vote on myself because I got nervous. I don't know.
Yeah. My theory on it is if it's not a dragging round, then you shouldn't vote for yourself because it's basically like a 50-50 anyway. So you should try to rack up the votes on someone else and hope for the best. But because it was a dragging round, I didn't want to vote for Sarah, for example, who I thought maybe
I would never have drugged you.
Well, I was just playing it safe. So that's why I voted for myself because I knew if I voted for myself and survived, I knew I was good. So
I was too paranoid to vote for myself.
I'm not sure what I would kick myself more for, voting myself and then getting eliminated or not voting myself and getting eliminated. I'm not sure where I'd be more at.
Billy just said he voted himself. Billy voted himself out of the game.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
Ooh.
That's rough.
That's
Billy.
Jesse would have gone home that round, right? Because it was a tie between him and Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. And Jesse made it to jury, I believe. So that's interesting how differently things would have played out. Way to go, Billy. You got to redeem yourself now. Seriously. You got a lot of things to redeem yourself for, but you can do it. So after Billy tried to drag Navit had an LOS. He tried to drag JC. JC unfortunately did not have an LOS then. He had already used his prior. He was such a good sport about it. He was so genuinely like, don't even worry about it, man. It's totally fine. Probably the nicest reaction I've seen.
I feel like the nicest sequester contestant of all time.
Oh, yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
I'm so nice.
We were just so nice in general. Anytime I got into a room, I love getting into rooms with people just like one-on-one. That was my thing. I always craved that. And me and JC one-on-one, like, conversations were so dope. And I was like, okay, I can definitely trust this guy. So I was super upset when he left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never really felt great about JC. I felt like he was just saying the same thing to everybody. So I was actually kind of happy when he got dragged. Even though, I mean, I really, really liked him, but I also didn't want it to be me. So
yeah,
I just love Sequester going worldwide, baby. So I
know.
He's saying it's like 3 a.m. right now where he is, and he's watching this, talking to us. So that's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what too. I was like, he's up so late, and then the comments after, they're like, it's 10 a.m. where he's at. And I was like, oh. I don't know how time zones work.
So after that, we had 13 players left. We moved into round 7, which was the first of a two-parter twist, the vote now or later twists. Of course, you can choose between voting this round or the next round, but if you vote this round, you can't vote the next round, and your votes will be exposed. And of course, that resulted in our good pre-jury friend here, Tristan's demise. So let's dive into that a little bit. Let's talk about it. What went wrong, Tristan? What could you have done to save yourself?
Okay, so first, I want to say that from the very beginning, as soon as my name was thrown around, my fear was that exact twist, because I knew it was going to be almost impossible for me to get through 2 votes with only having a vote in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So my strategy was that if I used my vote in the round that I went home, then I was 100% going in the next round. Because if I didn't have a vote, people would be like, he doesn't even have a vote. Let's just take him out now. So I played it risky, and I did not use my vote, even though I fully knew that like I had a 50% chance of going home. So I don't think that was that big of a flaw. What my issue was the people who I thought were supporting me, I only asked them to campaign for me. I said, if you save your vote, that's fine. But I should have tried harder for people to vote like against what's its face? What was his name? Dane. Yep. Okay, I know. I can't even remember people's names. And because there were, I believe, 4 people who were voting, and my guess is it was 3-1. And thanks, JC. And I feel like all of Dane's allies, like Angelica, for example, voted against me. Okay.
Tony, you want to cut in real quick? Go ahead.
I would say this is the round where Jacob really started to take over the game.
Yeah.
And I'll say this for 2 reasons. One, 2 big personalities went out in this double round. One was Tristen, obviously, and the other one was Dane. And Dane, I think, kind of fucked himself because people gave him a couple of opportunities to say a name, and he was very, like, reticent. Like, I don't know. And then, like, I guess I'm maybe hearing Amanda's name a little bit. And then it was just like, he wouldn't commit. But Jacob's in the other place. Whenever I saw him, he was beginning his thing of, I want to target big players. I want to target threats. And you're putting that out there into the universe in such a way that now we start seeing people go after the big names instead of after people who might be playing a little bit more under the radar. And because it's you putting that out there, people that are going for it are like aligned with you, and y'all are in a team developing a strategy for the later period of the game. So I was just like, oh, okay. And actually, Jacob, it pissed me off when you did it. I was like, this motherfucker targeting the entertaining people. What the fuck? Oh, like, he better win. He better fucking win, because otherwise I'm going to be very upset that he just ruined this season of Sequester by taking away all the entertainment. But great fucking job.
It seemed like, I mean, even, you know, from round 1, my first thought, and I said this to these 2, was that, you know, Jacob, Sarah, Jesse are going to steamroll this game. Like, somebody needs to get to someone first. And I had the idea, like, Jacob, you need to target Jesse, or Jesse needed to target you. And whoever beat the other one to the punch was going to be the one who I thought was going to win. It was just a matter of who was going to get to who first. And I think you started having those thoughts earlier on than Jesse did. And it worked for you.
No, and that was the round that I started, like, because I think I started to really like be strategic and like, okay, am I going to vote now or am I going to vote later? And I knew the confirmed votes for the first round. I was like, okay, I'm not voting this round, but I didn't know the confirmed votes. So like who the second target was for the second round. And Tristen, you left the second round or the first round?
First round.
Okay, Dane. I don't think I wanted Dane to leave because Dane was in my starting room. But it wasn't really anything I could do like to do anything about it. But that's when I do remember having those conversations, being like, hey, we have Jesse, we have Frank, we have, I don't think I mentioned Sarah. I'm not too sure that early, but I just remember Frankie and Jesse were like my two. I was like,
you put that little snowball at the top of the hill. Let's get rid of the big threats. And it rolled down and it killed your boy Dane.
What's named with Jacob, because actually, Jacob, I never actually came for you in the game, but I kind of was going for you soon. So, because my hit list going into the game when watching the videos was Dane, Marcus, Caden, Sheldon. They all went pre-jury, okay? So they were all early. And then the two other people who were on my list were the final two. So.
Interesting. And Louie, good. Thanks for bringing that up. That point you brought up, because I was even surprised that Frankie, once he got mad at me for not telling him about the LOS, that he didn't even target me after that. Because all I need is a good reason for like you to like, even from my mind to think, okay, you're going after me, for me to be like, okay, let's do this. You know what I mean? I just need one thing. And I was so surprised that like he never like really was going after me after that point. I was like, oh, that's nice of him. But I was full on for him.
Yeah. I think Frankie played both sides the most of anyone.
Oh,
what do you think?
Were there sides?
I don't think he played.
Yeah,
I
think there were sides. No?
I just thought he played with you and Jesse.
I don't know. He talked about my name a lot. And I knew about it. And I didn't really care. He was like, I voted for you. And I was like, cool. Next round. But.
Yeah, I think when Dane ended up going home, I don't think it was
next round. So it was the round. This part of the vote an hour later. We had 12 players left, and the people who couldn't vote that round were Amanda, Angelica, Dane, and Zach. And it seems to be, and I don't know how much or little this just has to do with Dane or has to do with just how this twist works out, but it seems to be that who goes next round is someone who voted the first round who does not have a vote anymore and does not have any voting power.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to vote in the first round. So, do you guys know, because I'm pretty sure it was 3-1, I think. Does that sound right, or do you guys think it was unanimous?
For round one?
No, the one that I went home.
Yeah, no, Amanda definitely voted for Dane because
okay, that's what I thought.
God, I would have voted with you if I knew. I don't know, because I don't think I convinced Amanda to vote, but she was like, Dane saying my name, and I was like, oh, you should probably vote then. And she was like, okay. And so like I got one vote on Dane.
Ran mean.
Yeah, like I said, I should have pushed other people to vote.
No,
for
not
Dane
true, Ran.
Save my vote, but that's okay.
The hot
and I know Louie, I think it was Louie said this a little bit ago about how returnees tend to do pretty well. Might have been Tony too. Do you guys think when I come back, do you think I'll be targeted immediately? Or
yeah.
No.
I don't think so. I think it depends on who you're playing with. Truly is all it's going to come down to.
I mean, don't play that Babe in the Woods shit again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, because I'm already exposed. I knew coming into it that was going to be a one-time experiment. So.
No, I think
That's
if
funny.
people know that like the audience likes you, I think it does give you a slight advantage. So I think people will work with you more.
Yeah. You just have to play sharkier now, even more sharky, extra sharky.
That next round,
Baby shark, dude.
right?
Round 9 with a button twist.
Button, yeah. Jesse versus Marcelo, or Jesse hunting down Marcelo and Marcelo running away. And then
I love that.
Jesse being mean to Marcelo is like, why is this 30-year-old keep running away from me? This man is 30 years old and he keeps running away. And I was like, what's the significance of Marcelo being 30 years old? Is it because he likes cartoons? Is he being mean? I was like, the insult was not fully congealed, but it still felt really mean. And I'm old, so I felt like personally offended a little bit by Jesse. And I was like, I like that he's making a choice, but my feelings are also kind of hurt. So I think this is good. I'm gonna start rooting for Jesse a little bit. Also, Austin Strong. Wait, that means you can only say Austin Strong if someone has a terrorist.
I agree with that. I agree with
Straight from Audrey
Oh,
here.
for sure. Yeah.
I agree with that. That's why I never bring it up. And I was like,
me neither. I never brought it up.
I mean, Sarah, you can just tell, but you've been around, so.
Oh, I've been around. Sorry.
But I do remember that fight with Marcelo and Jesse, and I remember I was in a room with Jesse.
I'm gonna say this right now. This is something that I wrote down for the end, and this is like Jacob's talking about erections and Sarah's talking about I've been around. But in the final two, when you two were talking, when Jacob was like, "You were such a good player. You did such a good job," Sarah, you genuinely flushed. Like you actually were like, oh my God, the affirmation. And I was like,
I love words of affirmation.
He fucking won. And I was like, there's vibes. There's legitimate chemistry and vibes here right now that are happening that I sense. So I was like, I'm shipping all the way. Jacob,
I ship it. I ship
fan
it.
fiction is coming out. Watch my OnlyFans.
Oh my God, are we at a showman's, Jacob?
No, are we? Can we?
First Sequester showman's right here.
We've all been waiting for a Sequester showman's. It's about time. It's about time.
I'll let you make the first move on a winner, Sarah. So.
What the fuck? You have to take her out with the prize money. Take her out with the prize money.
I know with the prize money. I got it.
Oh, I think it would be fun if the chat started like a Venmo every game to like give the winner like a Venmo prize amount.
Is this the round where Ivan did the drag?
So Ivan eliminated. Ivan dragged Jacob.
Wait, can we talk about this round?
Ivan dragged Angelica. She used an LOS. Ivan dragged Adam. Let's talk about the round. Let's talk about it all.
So
okay, you go first. Babe, sorry.
It's okay. Thank you so much. But this round, this is the moment I was so pissed, and I had to stay in the room with Frankie and Jesse after I feel like they already lied to me. So I was like, wait, what was the voting? What was like the rule for this game?
Second highest.
Was it even?
Second highest number of votes. Go.
Oh, second highest. Okay, yes. And so I don't know how to really strategize with this one. But I knew I wanted Jesse or Frankie out, and I knew they wanted Marcelo out. But I did not want Marcelo out. I worked with Marcelo. I like Marcelo, all that stuff.
So how to get Ivan? Where did Ivan?
So Ivan came. This is where Ivan came in. And me and Angelica actually didn't talk about this. So I went in a room with Jesse and Frankie, and then Jesse said, "Can we just throw our vote on a hinky vote because I don't want to vote Marcelo because he may drag me." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Okay, I haven't talked to Ivan. What about Ivan?" They were like, "Yeah." And so we got time to vote. I voted for Ivan. Ivan only received 2 votes. And I thought that them two was also going to vote for Ivan. And they did not. And so she read the votes out, and it was me and Angelica. I was surprised. And I was so pissed about that. I was like, that's the moment I was like, I'm just turning this up like 100 degrees to get them out. And then so once he tried to drag me, I was like, very interesting. And I don't know, I don't know if he heard me or what happened, but I was like, I called out Frankie and Jesse, and I was like, "Hey, Frankie and Jesse, what happened? Because y'all told me y'all were going to vote for Ivan as well, to try to get Ivan, if he was going to drag anyone, to drag them." And that was my mind. But he dragged Angelica.
That was your winning move, dude. That was it. Well, I mean, because
it didn't work out.
Well, it didn't work out, but it doesn't matter about whether the thing worked. It was the perception of the thing that you did and the way that you played it. Because Ivan was taking his drag and really stinking up the room with it, man. All the apologies, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You just got voted out. What the fuck are you apologizing for? What are you doing?" And he's just like, "Oh, and I just want to be fair." Who's being fair? What the fuck is this? What are you doing?
I would fuck that.
He goes for you, or he goes for you, and you're like, "Look, me and you, and there was supposed to be a couple of other people voting for you as well. And Jesse was right here, and you're like, and you're Jesse sitting literally next to you, and you're calling Jesse out, and it's don't shut that door, and it's this, and it's this moment where you are taking a really big swing. You're calling out another major player. He can't do anything about it. And if Ivan was anything, he takes the bait, or he doesn't, or he addresses the fact that a game moment is actually happening instead of racking his brain to figure out what fairness means to him. Like, I don't give a fuck about fairness. This is not fairness. But you playing that move, everyone should have taken notice at that moment. You should have been target number one after that, because that was such a good thing we did. I'm going to shut up.
I thought I was after that round. But Sarah, you had some stuff to say to you about that round.
Oh, I just don't know how it played out. Because I voted for Marcel, but I voted for Marcel like every single round. So,
I think he received the highest amount.
Yeah,
of votes.
but like, did everyone else just throw hinky votes? Like, how many did he even get? I don't know.
Tony about to say that.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it was only 2 votes. Like 2 votes for number 2. Like, that was wild to me. But I don't know. Also, Ivan was funny because that round he was like something like, "I've had no disagreements with anyone so far," and then he goes home. But also, like, there's been no like arguments in this game in general, really.
And he said that he threw a hinky vote at me. He was like, "I guess this is karma because I threw a hinky vote at Jacob."
Yeah.
I remember him saying that. So I was so pissed that round. So pissed.
I don't know. I disagree with Susie. Like, big swings that don't work are good moves, especially when it's a game of people playing the "who are we thinking, guys? Who have you heard? I think I'm kind of hearing, well, someone got a vote 2 rounds ago. What did you vote for me?" Like, when it's such a game of people trying so hard not to be the person initiating anything, then someone swinging is the most valuable piece of information in that game.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's a very it's so rare in the game that you get to speak to everyone, right? You're always limited to the people you're in the room with. And Jacob, you got the opportunity because you were using that LOS to speak to everyone, which I think it was genius that you took the moment not just to use it, but to tell everybody in the game this is what's happening without having to, you know, spend the time the next round going to each person individually and trying to find time with them alone.
Yeah, totally agreed. Like, that was, even though it didn't fully work, but that was still a really good move in theory. And just the question, like, you know, obviously I'm out of the game by now, but if I was still in, do you guys think that it would have been smart for me to campaign for myself to get the most votes, or just try to stay quiet because maybe people wouldn't go for me because people would assume I get the most?
To be honest, just I don't think. No, I don't think I would have.
Your ball. Like, you're gonna stand out. You know what I mean? Like, you have a cadence. You look really young. Like, you're just a real standout kind of guy that you're not gonna hide. You know what I mean? You're not gonna hide in this game.
I don't think I would have voted for you, Tristen, just honestly because I mean I never thought of you I'd never thought of you in this game. Because we never talked, never really crossed paths, never really worked together. And so your name, honestly, besides the people that I was working with and besides the people that I wanted out, I really didn't know who was in the game at any period in time, oftentimes. And so I don't think I would have voted for you, Tristen, TBH.
Okay. Yeah, Jacob, honestly, you probably would have been one of the first ones on my hit list if you wouldn't have voted for Caden. That kind of bumped you back a few spots, but I don't know. You also had a lot of good relationships, so that could have backfired, kind of like how it did with Angelica. So,
well, after the back-to-back drag attempts, once again, Ivan dragged Jacob. Jacob uses LOS. Ivan dragged Angelica, who said in the chat that she just got her LOS before that round ended. She used an LOS. Then Ivan dragged Adam out of the game, and that took our last pre-jury member out of the game, bringing us into the jury phase with 9 people left. Round 10, we had another audience poll, and the people who wound up as flops this time were Sarah, Zach, and Amanda. And how this round worked was everyone was supposed to vote for who they thought the biggest floater was, and then the audience also got a poll to vote on who they thought the biggest floater was, and it had to match, or the rest of you were going to be up for elimination.
That was stressed about that. Yeah,
that was an interesting twist. Let's talk about that.
Audience hates me.
I think you have bad luck with rooms, but I mean, I think it was like evident. I think like we all knew that like the audience would like not vote for Sarah that round. So I think it was like a toss up between Amanda and Zach, and Amanda was just the person I didn't really talk to, and I just always saw her with her cup drinking, like just things like that, being totally oblivious. And me and Zach, we had a game relationship, and so that's my only basis.
Mm-hmm. Can I have a comment for that round? I was a little sad because it took a while for the moderator to get back to me because I was a little bit confused about the rules. What would happen if the audience did not match up with our votes? Like if the floaters would be safe or not to go to then the pool, which I think it ended up being that way because I really wanted to go to a room by myself and campaign to the audience to vote for me as the biggest floater, just so that we could then vote out like Marcel or someone. Because because I felt okay with Amanda and Zach. Because I felt like Zach had no one. Maybe he did, but
this is where Marcel and Jesse got into the big fight in this round.
Yeah.
Because I have a note here that saying that Marcel's calling Jesse a liar. They finally
had that room. It was us three.
Like, oh, the biggest fight in this round is of two people that aren't on the hot seat. And I was just like, and it's interesting that this was a version of the investigation game, like the detective. And I feel like this one was a lot more successful of a version of investigation, trying to figure out everyone's trying to figure out what's actually happening in the game and who's playing and who's not, and thinking about what the audience is thinking. And, it just really put the players' heads in the mind of the audience, which I think was a good thing. Like, I feel like moving forward, the game really kind of stepped up a level of competition and urgency after this round. And I think, note for Audrey, this is a really, really good twist, and I'm excited to see it pop up again in later games.
The audience vote twist you're talking about?
The who's the biggest floater search.
Floater. That's right. Yeah. It's harsh on one player, for sure, in the game. It is very interesting to watch, and it's great for what it does to the game.
You can light a fire under your ass, too.
Yeah, I thought that would light a fire under their ass, but I don't think it did.
It did.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Sorry,
and so
I loved your cats, though.
What?
Amanda's cats in her opening video.
Oh, her cats.
They were cute. She was talking to her cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is like, I feel like a lot of the big characters did make it to jury though, besides Tristen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. A lot of the people I did like did make it farther, besides poor Tristen. Robbed.
After Amanda was eliminated and the audience agreed that Amanda should have been eliminated, we moved on to round 11. There were 8 people left in the game, and this was the voting tether round.
I loved this round. I love this round.
Culminated in Jesse Sarah tie, the revote, Jesse being eliminated, you telling Frankie to mute himself, you guys getting into a fight.
Yes.
I feel like Jesse was always very tenuously connected to this game. Like, there were times when he looked really bored and not in it, and then he would get pissed off and start fighting and rev up. And in this round, he knew that he was the target, and I could just see the life draining out of his eyes, especially on the revote. Whenever they're doing it's like, I just forget it. I'm going home. Oh, forget it, guys. I'm done.
It was something I was thinking of early on too, because I played with Jesse the last time, and he was so full of life the entire game. He was like the spirit of the game. Everybody, he created a huge alliance.
Just had his spirit shattered a little bit.
He seemed like a broken person from the beginning in this game. He seemed just so sad, and I was like, Jesse, what happened to you? Sequester has destroyed you.
He was so vibrant in his last game.
He was sad he wasn't out on that paddleboard.
And also, that's all we do. But in this round, I knew that like Jesse, I didn't know. I'm not gonna say I was 100% like sold on this, but I knew I had a majority of my allies in the jury at that point, and 100% of my allies that only really had connections to like me, and then I was the connections to like another person in a way. And so when me, what were you gonna say?
No, who are your allies at this point?
Oh, at this point, it was Angelica, it was Zach, it was Naveed, it was Marcelo. I believe that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
And so I had them in jury, and I knew that me and Zach were tethered, and then I knew Angelica was tethered to Naveed was tethered to Jesse, and I knew Naveed was going to ride with me, and I knew I've been telling her I was like I need Jesse going, like Jesse has to go, blah blah. So I was like, do not vote with him, and so that canceled out. No, well I don't know. Well, this is like I don't remember. I don't know how the tie worked, but I just told Naveed, like me and Naveed talked about not voting with her partner, and then when the tie vote came. Angelica, I was like, yo, just do not vote with Frankie. And she didn't. I was like, okay, I have these people solid. These people are like 100% like everything to me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So loyalties were tested, and they were good in my way.
Tony.
I just want to say with Mallory's quote that just came up about how Jesse looked good when his spirits were broken, like his eyes were shimmering, and he did have that stand-up paddleboard glow.
Of course.
Like, he had some real Edward Cullen, soulful,
very Twilight
vibe. Like he was shimmering all the way through. I was like, I was feeling some palpitations in that moment for sure.
He is a very good-looking guy.
I mean, like Sequester icon.
Heartthrob right there.
Tiger Beat.
Now, what was probably one of my personal favorites moments of the game was in this round, your confrontation with Frankie, Jacob. You guys are going at it for a brief moment. You tell him you don't even want to talk to him. You tell him to mute.
No, he told me.
Okay.
So we got into the room. He came into the room. It was me and Angelica talking about how Angelica shouldn't vote with him. And then Frankie came in and he was talking to Angelica. And then me and Frankie haven't been into the room together since the Ivan vote. And I've been wanting to like talk to him. Not really talk to him, but just like confront him and talk about the stuff. So he comes in and he's talking to Angelica, and I say, "What's up, Frankie?" And then he said, "Why do you say it like that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just saying what's up." And then he was like, "Why do you say it with the attitude?" And I was like, "Well, we haven't really seen each other since blah blah blah." And then he said, he was like, "Okay, you." Because I mean, I had a tone, I had a type of chew to it.
You were right.
I was gonna say that cadence was different. That
word for exactly like, "Hey, Frankie," when he walked in, and he went, "Hey," and you went. And then there's a pause, and he's like, "Why are you saying hey like that? You sound mad." And you were like, "I'm just saying hey, Frankie."
That's really it. And then he was like,
"You're really mad at me or something."
And then he was like, "You can go." And I was like, and I think I said like, "Bitch, fuck you," or something like that. And then he was like, and then Audrey came out. I was like, "Hey, mute yourself. I was dying at that moment. I was actually at that moment. It was the first time, and I pride myself on like, I didn't take anything personal, but I was like super like pissed off. Like when I saw him, I just wanted to like go.
See, and I think this sets you up really good for the 7 Deadly Sins round because you gave him some emotional energy. Like you like let him know how you were feeling. I think one of the things in the game that I played that like I didn't want to deal with people because everybody was talking about me as a target and they were all lying to me. And you can just feel that like I'm not having a genuine connection. That's why whenever we hooked up with like Bridget and Keely after jury started, I was so excited that I was like, oh, finally, someone with some fucking humanity behind their eyes. I'm not talking to a dead soulless automaton. But with you and Jesse in that moment, that y'all had like a real fight. Whenever you came back for the 7 Deadly Sins, oh god damn it! When you came back with Frankie in the 7 Deadly Sins round, when you wanted to make up and he couldn't talk, he's like, oh, like you had the real connection with him again. You know what I mean? Like that was like you drew him in a very real way because y'all fought in a very real way. At least that's how I read it.
So
and I agree. I did have a tone.
Moment there before you continue, Jacob, is the fact that you were telling him mute yourself for that round, and then he got the mute punishment. It was so great.
Wait, I didn't even catch that.
All the people that get it. The whole chat was like, "Oh my god, Jacob forced the wheel. He did this. He influenced the." It was so good. And then just watching the dynamic back and forth between the two of you that round, with you just you like what Tony said, you really kind of lit a fire under Frankie's ass there a little bit, and there was just a great exchange between the two of you, with you like leading him and him just like really like pleading with you, muted, and then you had Naveed coming in doing the opposite challenge. It was a pretty entertaining round to watch. That was great.
Naveed was my favorite person in that challenge. He was my favorite person. I think she was really
did a really good job.
She did so good.
For anyone else, likely could have gotten them a penalty vote. There's so many people who don't pay attention to their punishments, and I mean, look at Marcelo. He got his. So that could have. She did a great job.
Yeah, and I think we were really gunning for Sarah.
Not this round. Don't do it. Don't vote for Sarah. Not this round.
Yeah,
don't. We are not voting. Don't need to get Sarah out. She is not dangerous. Not right now. I was like,
oh, Marcelo. This was Marcelo's like big flop day though on that round.
Oh, I know.
Guys, I didn't play on LOS. Marcel ended up getting the majority votes, and he had 2 LOSs at final 7 and didn't play one.
I was wondering
he had a
about
penalty
that.
vote, right? So I didn't play it.
About that final 7, is it worth it? I feel like the silence thing is such a handicap. Oh my God, disability. I don't know. What's the politically? Never mind.
I think a comparable.
You just take that vote.
Is the one room punishment. I feel like that's pretty bad. I mean, unless you're Taylor in Friday's game who had people flocking to her. But if you're stuck in the one room, I feel like that's so easy to make everyone else just be like, yeah, let's just all completely avoid that room and we'll just leave them by themselves the whole round.
Well, this time Zach was in the room alone, and I wanted to like go towards Zach. I wanted to like ask the people what room is Zach in, because I wanted to like tell him the plan so he can like be in on it. And so I don't think it was like that much of a hindrance this game. I think Frankie was completely screwed. I would not talk.
Yeah, it hurts, but I feel like it can benefit you if you have any sort of ally for them to know where to find you. Like one of the biggest hurdles of this game is trying to track someone down who you need to talk to. If you know where they're going to be every time, it's beneficial. We haven't talked much about Marcelo, but I feel like Marcelo, he brought something to the game.
That was my guy.
Like a controlled sort of chaos. Like I'm not sure if he understood the rounds as they went on, but like he was playing a good game, just like, winging it and having all the LOSs in without really knowing exactly what was going on while it was happening.
Marcelo committed. Marcelo was one of the players, especially as they started moving along, who would let himself get into fights, who would run away from Jesse, who would say names. Like he was someone who I felt was playing a very active version of the game. And I think there were certain points, and maybe it was getting away from him a little bit, and I don't know anything about that personally, but like the idea of just taking a stand and doing something was something that I did really like about Marcelo. Now his vibes really weirded me out the whole game, but like as a player, he was good television.
No, yeah, he sketched me out the entire time. Like that first round when I at the beginning of the second round, when I asked him if he voted for me, and he was like, I'm like, yeah, this is a lost cause. So
I am kind of curious how the game would have went down if he knew how to play the LOSs correctly. Where, I mean, I still think it would have led to you winning, Jacob, but yeah.
Going home with 2 LOSs in your pocket.
But if I go home here, then does Jacob make it past Final Four? I don't know.
I feel like I do.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
That's why I was like voting for you that round, because I was like, I feel like I had my only like person that I would not take me is Frankie, and so like that was the only person I had bad blood with, and I was really close with every single other person, like even Marcelo, Angelica. We started off in the room.
You shouldn't take people just because you're close.
No, but I didn't think they would get rid of me though. I didn't think they would get rid of me, and so not saying they were like I feel like I would have
I think that thing that thing where Frankie and Jacob really fought it out over. I thought we made amends. He's like, yeah, I made amends, but I'm still cutting your throat. Like that whole like no. And like Frankie was just so mad right there. For me, that was a red flag that Jacob was making deeper human connections with a lot of the people. Like whenever him and Naveed made the mention of justice for Amir.
Jamar.
Yeah, justice for Jamar. And it was like there was like real real emotional connection. Like Jacob did a really good job of finding real connections with people throughout the game, and they exposed it multiple times to where he was a very dangerous threat going into the late game. Like, and I think that people were so close to him that they didn't see it. Like, it was beautiful missed, my man. Very beautiful.
No, Sarah, I mean, I even admitted it to Sarah because I thought me and Sarah were having a genuine moment at this point. And she was like, well, who do you feel, we were talking game, and she was like, well, who do you feel close to? And I was like, oh, I trust you a little bit, so I'll tell you. I was like, I feel close to Naveed, I feel close to Marcelo. And then Naveed came in that round.
I had an opportunity.
And then Naveed came in that round of the 7 Deadly Sins, and she was like, Sarah is not going around saying that me, Marcelo, and you are in the final 3. I was like, oh, okay. I see how it is now. But that was super funny. But yeah, I tried.
One of my favorite moments to end that round was Marcelo coming in with you and Naveed trying to explain the plan. And Marcelo just had no idea what was going as to why she was talking like this. Wait, what are you saying?
I remember that look. 'Cause I remember when she said, "Do not stay." I thought he was actually going to leave because she was like, "Do not stay, do not stay." I was like, "Please do stay, please do stay." But I remember that. And then right when it cut off, right when I was just like, "All right, vote," I was like, "Vote Sarah," but ended up not even going. But so yeah.
Are we at the best round of the season?
Yeah, so we're at final 6 now. Round 13. Who you haven't voted before, where Frankie was eliminated.
Best round. I gotta talk about this real quick, because early on, Sarah knows that she's been on the outs for a long period of the game. She gets real smug, real excited that she's safe, and she's kind of carrying along. She gets in a room with Jacob, and Jacob's like, "I want to vote for Frankie," and then she's like, what is your thought? And she's like, I'll keep it in mind. And she leaves. Right after she leaves, Jacob says, she thinks she's the head bitch in charge. And that's the quote. And this is just a quick branch off of that. The idea of using an empty room as a diary room is bad. It's not good. And for the early parts of the game, especially, you see people in a room by themselves, and he's like, well, I think I like puzzles. I was like, shut up, get the fuck out of there, go play. However, if you're ever going to do a diary room, what Jacob does in that moment, after Sarah leaves the room, to say a snarky thing and then go on to something else, like, that's how you do a diary room.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
I remember that moment. I remember, because I was like, dang, she really did me like that.
You really, I think you said, oh, she really thinks she's that bitch, doesn't she? Like that. It was. No, I
wrote it down. She thinks she's that.
No, I think I did say it. She thinks she's that head bitch in charge or something like that. So
I'm writing this down like a quote of the season.
She was that HBIC.
That round of beat also said, "Hey, pretend Sarah's not here. Sarah doesn't exist. This box is gone. Like, just forget this box exists. I don't want to talk about this box. This person, go away."
She did do that. I remember that. I was living for Naveed. I was living for Naveed.
Yeah, I really liked her. The only thing that made her me nervous about her was her fact about convincing everyone to have carbonated milk. I'm like, if she can convince all those people to have carbonated milk, then she's probably going to.
I got to worry about her. What is she going to convince me of?
I want to try it out. I want to try carbonated milk. That's where I'm at. Is that a real thing? Like, I'll do this. I'm on board.
Carbonate anything.
Yeah.
We got one more on the train.
But why would you want to? That's my question.
We'll try anything once.
So I was going to go for her at the very beginning, but the problem was she came into my room and she was actually the one who told me that my name was going around. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going for her for a little bit at least.
Yes, that was me. I remember that.
It was Ika Wong night last night. It was awesome.
It really was.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. Yeah, so many Ika references.
Everybody calling out Ika Wong in their opening videos, and nobody playing like Ika Wong for the first several rounds. Like, Ivan, if you're gonna say your favorite player is Ika Wong, then you need to drag somebody with fire. Like, you don't get to like look for fairness. That's not Ika Wong. Ika Wong plays with emotion and passion and intensity, and she goes for what she wants. Like, think about her. She's a true queen, and I feel like you didn't represent her correctly.
Yeah, it was so hard for me in my opening room to act dumb, like I didn't even know who that was, or like when before the game started, Audrey came into our room and asked us if about the green dot thing, and I acted like I didn't know what that was.
You fully committed to the role. Fully committed.
Yes.
Method acting.
I remember I brought up Ika in my thing. I was dying.
After round 6, where Frankie was eliminated, or sorry, final 6, where Frankie was eliminated, we moved into the final 5, round 14, which was the majority rules game. So and that led up to Navit and Zach as the flops for elimination. We had some jumping around of like, hey, can we go to another room to discuss this? And then immediate following, pretty much. Let's talk about it.
I hated this. I was so mad. I was so mad. Just because, like, I mean, I trusted Zach. I just knew Zach wasn't coming out with me. I just knew he had no reason to. He just never was. And Navit was like my girl, and I knew that if Navit was up there, she was gone. And in that round, and I kind of wasn't even strategic in this manner. I was just thinking with pure emotion, thing like I want Navit to stay. But I knew it, and so I didn't even vote for Navit to leave. I voted for Zach in actuality. But I knew it was like
mentioned Zach this whole podcast. Like he like you talk about an under the radar game. Like I really thought that Navit, when she's talking about representing the cast, like who's the best to represent the cast, and that she was playing herself over Zach. Like that was something going back to Dash's game on Friday night, and I thought Dash was absolutely flopping the whole jury question segment until he said, I just want to represent this cast. I think I would be a good representation if we were, and people would be very proud to be this.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, dude, that's fucking brilliant, because you are a character and you are playing so hard. And the other's like, I did a really good social game with good social relationships, and socially I tried to socialize with people and just socialize. And it's just I think Dash introduced something into the meta. Come find me, Dash. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you at all. Why don't you go walk to a train platform with Andy Vogel's traitorous ass? Sorry, Andy Vogel fucking voted me out at final six of my season.
I remember that.
I'm never gonna fucking forget him. Fuck you, Andy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Do you feel that passionately about anyone from this game? Is there anyone that you're like, fuck you, walk in front of a train? I couldn't see you saying it, Tristen.
Wait. Speaking of the majority round, why doesn't anyone talk to, let's say Jacob, talk to someone who you're close to in Final 6 and be like, hey, if Final 5 is the majority round, no matter what the question is, if it's about an active player in the game, why not just say Sarah? And if it's about a jury member, why not say Jesse?
You got that, Sarah.
I was just say, so Taryn Armstrong implemented that in the most recent influencer game, and I honestly thought the majority rules was going to be done. To be I thought Audrey was just going to wash it forever, just go to true or false, or a puzzle, So I don't know.
I mean, TBH, when that round came, because the round when I played previously and I made Final Four, I had a quiz. It was just A, B, C, or D, one of those things. And so I honestly I didn't know what to really anticipate with this final round. And for some reason, I was just so nervous. I just didn't even think of it. And so, it was out of sight, out of mind for me.
We did fine, Jacob. We survived.
Yeah, I survived. I played Jacob for everyone.
And I think I played Sarah for everyone. Oh, no, I think I might have. Let me see.
You said for bitter jury, you put me.
I put you for the last. What was the last one? That was bitter jury.
Bitter jury. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I think you did have some bitter jury members. Not gonna lie. But I don't think I was wrong.
That's funny.
The people that were in that round were your biggest supporters, besides Marcel, I guess.
No, 1,000.
And so the people currently in the jury, I would think, would be the most bitter towards you.
Oh, 1,000%. And so I think this run, I mean, Sarah, you couldn't have gone, but I preferred Zach to leave, but
yeah,
it worked out.
I don't even know who I voted for, to be honest, because
I think, did you vote for Navit?
Well, I don't know if you can switch your vote. I don't think you can switch your vote, can you? Because I kind of tried to, but I don't think you can. I don't even know what ended up, but I don't know. I ended up, because I first voted Naveet and then I felt bad about it. Because I don't know. Because in my head, I was like, okay, Zach is like a better chance of someone dragging Zach over me. I was hoping.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have happened, but.
Yeah.
Jacob, what was your thought behind voting out Zach over Naveet? Because my thinking was that Naveet might have been a bigger threat in the end.
Yeah, I mean that round I really wasn't like thinking strategic. I was just thinking emotional. And Naveet, I was just close to Naveet, and I just like if I was in final two, I would like her to be close to it or like with me. And kind of like strategy was like I just like I'm riding with you. And so like I'm just like a loyal person with people who I like, with people who I feel like close to in that manner. And so like, and I think I also like a testament, even my last game, if we think about my last game with Yura and Louie, my starting room, we made it to final 3, or final 4. And so it was like, it's just like so dope. 3 people made it to final 4 in that. And so like, if I'm riding with you, I just ride with you. And so like, if you go to war for me, I appreciate that. And I plan on reciprocating that. And if it came down to final 2, it's just going to be whoever wins. And so I was going to be happy if she won or I won. So I just really wanted Naveet to like be around. So yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm loyal too, but the problem is sometimes I think the people I'm loyal to don't know it, which is my flaw.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
But like then the people I'm actually never going to turn on flip on me, which is my own fault,
Yeah.
I was sad to see Naveet go in this round. I thought she had done a lot. I mean, I get it. I mean, tall grass gets cut is ultimately a very sad truth about this game. So when you have a really flashy, sexy LOS play, when you're calling out, you're taking out Tristen before the jury starts, whenever when you're doing things like Naveet playing with a real kind of quiet confidence like that, it's going to be hard to like not take someone out like that at 5. And I was sad to see her go.
I was surprised so early she went to the strategy of anybody can beat me in the end. My strategy was terrible. Nobody likes me. I would never win. I was surprised because up till that, I thought, she was playing a strong game, and I didn't expect that to be the way that she went about trying to get to the end. If anything, I thought she should play it up more. I think if that didn't happen, she might have had a better shot of actually getting there.
I think she should just stay quiet, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just regarding the chat, I just want to say, I think Dash is an amazing winner and a wonderful character on this show. And I thought what he did was hilarious, which is why I was making fun of it with regards to like his whole drunken meltdown and public grief. Like, that's great. That's great television. And I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings right now, but like, I'm ready to move on if you are with this.
Gonna squash it.
Very deserving winner. Oh, also, hashtag rivals. What are we talking about here? Like
hashtag rivals.
Hashtag rivals. I'm all in. Like, also fuck that guy. Like,
right now.
And fuck Andy Vogel. Like, hashtag rivals.
I see you, Tony. I see you trying to get onto a Sequester Mini right now. You're fooling no one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hashtag rivals.
Hashtag
you and
rivals.
Dash are like messaging each other like, okay, now calm that little petty bitch. Oh my god, I see
That's so funny.
At the end of Final 5, Naveet was eliminated. That brought us into the Final 4. And at the Final 4, Sarah, of course, was eliminated. And Zach was dragged, which left us with Jacob and
Wait, can I say something about that round?
Please, yeah.
I remember saying, I was like, who are you going to vote for? And then I said, I'm going to vote for Sarah, but if I like come to dragging, I was like, I don't think I'm going to drag Sarah. And I wasn't going to, like, I would have voted for you. And I think it's the difference between like, in that final sense, like if I'm gone, all right, the best person wins. But if I'm like still in it, I would like you to not be in it as well. So like be gone, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I'm going to vote you out, but I'm probably not going to drag you. I wasn't going to, this was 4.
See, I feel like Frankie really fucked up right here. Like,
Frankie wasn't in.
Frankie was
Sarah? You mean Sarah? Because Sarah fucked up. So
who got voted out of 4?
Zach.
Well, I got voted.
Sarah got voted out.
Dragged, yeah.
I did bad.
You got just.
I don't know. I don't know what
I honestly don't think you could have done.
I thought about this so much because also I was not aware that you and Angelica were so close. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I could have, because I needed someone to go to wheel with me, and I thought about it so much. Like, because I don't know how like self-aware Angelica was, because I thought about it. Like, what if I told Angelica like the only way you win is against Zach? You know what I mean? And so you have to vote Jacob with me, or else I will drag you. And if we go to the wheel, I will drag Jacob for you if the wheel lands on me. Like, I don't know if that would have been a good pitch, but I think she was very loyal to you. So I don't think I could.
No, she was, because this was when Frankie was still in the game. I think this was when Frankie got eliminated. And this when it was all 6 of us. So it was me, Naveed, Zach, Angelica, Sarah, Frankie. And it was when Frankie was like, hey, Sarah and Angelica, can y'all go to another room with me? Y'all went to like room 2. So you and y'all all 3 left. Angelica came right back. No, Naveed left too, just to like be in that room. Angelica came back and like told me, she was like, I'm voting with you. Don't worry, we're voting Frankie. And so that's when I was like, okay, she's good with me. And so I think she's like always been loyal. I appreciate that a ton. But yeah, it was in that moment when she came back before she went to y'all's room and said, hey, I'm still voting with you. We're good. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. Could I have flipped you, Jacob, to vote someone else? Because I think I started to realize that I think you cared about winning more than making final 2. Like, I could be wrong on this, where I started to think that you were willing to go out at 4 just so, I don't know.
Just so what?
Well, do you think I would have automatically beaten the finals or no? Because I don't know if I don't think I would have, but did you think that way?
Really? I think I just didn't want that stress. And I think
I had been more aggressive, because I think I just got to the point where I was like, I felt like the mini was, like there was kind of slow moments. And so I was like, so I really want to like make it not a good winner in my eyes. And so like then I got kind of sad. Yeah. I don't know.
No,
I shouldn't have cared about the audience. But.
I was gonna say, do we have the whole jury in the chat? Maybe minus Jesse. Like who did they vote for? Jacob or Sarah?
Yeah,
like,
jury sound off in the chat.
I think the only person that didn't vote for me was Frankie.
That sounds hard.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would have had, I think, Amanda, Frankie, Jesse, and then after that, I don't know. And the jury's not very supportive of me, but I don't.
I think it would have been 4-3. I think Sarah might have won, but not like.
Well, you would. Well, honestly, I think I would have beat you, because you would have had Amanda, Frankie, Jesse, and I feel like I would have had Naveed, Angelica, Zach, and Marcelo.
Yeah.
I think people just genuinely liked Jacob. All through that questioning thing, people came in. They were beaming at Jacob. Like it was just the smiles and stuff. And I know Sarah had a big part of that as well. But like, I just feel like you had the likability factor to win against anybody in that Final 4. Naveed would meet you. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Because I don't know. I think I could have been aggressive. And I think people tend to like an underdog game. So I think it would have been close. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would have been close for sure.
Honestly, I think I probably would have I don't know. It would have been hard, but maybe I think Jacob probably had more allies and like social relationships. But I feel like because of the whole underdog story, I feel like Sarah might have, not looking at the specific people, I feel like several people could have voted for her.
I don't feel like Sarah was an underdog.
So Frankie really wants this question answered. He's asked like 30 times in the chat. What was your long-term plan?
Just ignore him. He doesn't exist right now.
I love you, Sarah, but you had no long-term plan. What was your long-term plan? Please, Sarah, I need answers, please.
Oh my God. It was really hard because I think the people going into it who I felt the safest with went out pretty early. Like me and Billy, I felt like Billy never would have turned on me, but he went so early. I felt like Marcus never would have turned on me, but he went so early. And so from that point, Jesse was the one I think I trusted 100% because I felt like Jesse knew he needed me in Final 4. And so I think he would have taken me there. I would have done, the problem is me and Tristen were both on the bottom. Like I was supporting Tristen, but I also was at the bottom. So there wasn't much I could do. And after that, I don't know. I think I just, no one talked game with me. It was really hard for me because like I love like strategizing and things, and I just thought people were giving me nothing. So like not that I didn't have fun to me. Obviously I had fun, but it was just like a lot more stressful than like previous ones where I could just kind of fuck around and have fun.
How do you think you can go about like making allies like next time, like just like better?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm thinking like loyal allies.
I liked Frankie, but Frankie was saying my name and stuff. So like I didn't trust him. I didn't trust Jacob. I didn't trust Naveed. I didn't trust Marcel. Obviously, no. You know what I mean?
No.
So I was plans together builds trust. I think coming up with ideas and, like figuring out a way to be, confidently targeting people and, really making that thing. Like if you two put something together and then execute it, then that's a real big thing that you can build on, like in a game as quick as this.
Yeah. I don't know what's about me too. Every single game I've played, like outside Sequester 2, everyone always votes me out because they're like, "Oh, she's such a final 2 threat." Like I don't know what the fuck I do. You know what I mean? Whatever.
I think you just give off. I think you give off boss bitch vibes. So
I just think that you're not afraid to play the game, and I think that's clear to people. I think they're just intimidated by
and
your,
it's
your
not
prowess.
a face to it either. It's kind of like what you see is like what you get in a way. And I think I
that's
probably put on a more friendlier front.
Friendly. Nah.
I mean,
I'm here to make friends.
In the game that I played, when I put Brittany up for eviction, and then later I was like, "Look, I was
so pissed at you, Tony, for that. I was so.
I know I wanted to be a villain in that moment. I was upset about being voted out, so I wanted to pick the people that I liked the most in order to make the audience hate me, because at least they would feel something in that moment. But when Brittany said, I was like, "Look, I don't want you to vote out. I don't want you to vote out right now. I'm going to work to save you, but like, I get it if you want to kill me later." And she's like, "I look forward to dancing in your blood at the end of the game." And at that moment, we connected in like this moment of honesty and playfulness, and you know what I mean? Like we were just sort of really addressing the elephant in the room, and I think that like, and it's dangerous too. To put yourself out there and to say what you're really thinking is a scary thing and could get you voted out. But if it works, if you're saying I want to vote out the big threats, like what Jacob's doing, and if you're starting to put out real ideas into the game and it works, then by the time you get to the end, you've made a lot more impact as a player. And I think that's something that's really stronger when you get to that final 2.
Yeah, I think in the game of Sequester, like loyalty is overlooked a lot because a lot of times everything is going so quick, and it is people for the most part that you're just meeting for the first time and have known each other for an hour, 2 hours tops. In that nobody really sticks together for the long term. It's really just a cluster for that specific vote. I think last night we saw that can actually happen. Like, it's rare, but you can find people that you genuinely connect with in a short amount of time and actually have them be loyal to you. So it can be done. It's just not.
I think it happens a lot. I would disagree. Like the amount of times that starting rooms make it to the end together is statistically high.
Yeah.
My first time playing.
Yeah.
Louie would have been in that final 4 with us. He was in my first starting room.
Billy?
Yeah, the first time, and 3 of us made it, but Louie was he was the 4th one, and he got cut super early, which I was upset about, by the way. I didn't vote for you.
It all worked out for the best.
It all worked out.
Wait, you didn't vote for Louie? Bitch, you didn't vote for Louie? Do you know what that means?
No, I didn't vote for Louie.
You voted for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I did vote. Oh yeah, I voted for you. I voted for you, Sarah.
Sarah. I was behind both Louie and Sarah. You guys being up that round and the tie.
I love it.
And I love TR from the beginning. I don't even know why. Sorry,
I like
man.
TR. I like TR when
and same with Louie. It's like now I know they're such fun, charismatic people, but it was like I went in a room with them and I left and I was like boring, and they're not. But it was just like such that quick interaction that I made that first impression.
Yeah.
It almost ended my my entire Sequester career. I was like, that's it, one try, done.
But then I lit the fire under your ass to the winners. There
you go.
The redemption arc. You're welcome.
Let's. We're at the final 2. Does anyone have any final thoughts about the final 2? The winner of the game, Jacob. Here, any thoughts on the jury questions? Anything that stands out to them, or do we want to talk about? After that, of course, also the potential bonus mini that's coming up that Audrey, I'm not teasing a dream cast, but just I know someone in the chat, specifically Sarah from Friday night's game, would like to hear us talk a little bit about which theme we would like chosen for the mini. But of course, first, if there's any final thoughts about the final 2 or this game, Tony?
I have one.
Yes.
5 of the jury people at least asked some variation of what was your biggest move, what move did you make, movement, did you initiate it? So tell me about your moves. And then it was just like, we gotta, as a community, and I'm guilty of this as well, as a community, we have to figure out a way to make that jury phase more interesting and it's down to the people answering the questions. My favorite moment, apart from the obvious quick date there that happened between Jacob and Sarah, and the real emotional vibes that I caught off of watching you two connect, was Frankie is he a celebrity? Is he actually a celebrity? Because that was really how he carried himself, of guys, Audrey, Sequester, go out, do the Patreon. I'm the best. My Instagram is this. My Facebook, snap me up. Come get me. Snaps, OnlyFans, whatever. And then now Jacob, talk about me. Tell me about what.
No, he didn't let me speak. He didn't let me speak. He let Angelica speak. He told me to be quiet.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
But I think
but it was still just talk
followers
about
on
himself.
Instagram.
It was
Isn't that-
Yeah, he has
isn't that
30,000
true?
followers.
It was
Yeah, he has,
interesting.
That's a lot.
It was interesting. It was
I appreciate Sarah's. Did you feel you were winning going into final two? Oh yeah, yeah, I did. And I think Sarah gave me an extra boost of confidence. Just before she left, what she said, and also her jury statement. I thought I was in love with you. I was like, dang.
That was basically the crown. That was the crowning moment. That was when that happened. That was probably my favorite moment of the entire mini. Was Sarah talking to you at the jury phase. That put a huge smile on my face. It was respect, respect between the both of you about, what was the entire game really was you two and, various other parts. I think it was good to conclude it in that way.
Mm-hmm. And I knew I had the solid votes that I did. And I thought that Sarah would vote for me. And so it really wasn't a question for me.
I thought Angelica did a pretty good job.
I did too. I
think she did arguably better than Jacob.
Well,
I think she did better than Jacob. But Jacob played a much better game.
Jury statement wise, yeah, I do too.
How much? What do you think it matters? How the actual game went versus jury question answering. I feel like it's almost 40% jury answers, but I don't know. Is that wrong?
I think it just depends on the players, because there definitely can be people that the jury is totally not convinced of yet, or on the fence about, that then the jury question sways them completely the other way. If
because Brandon and Amon, it should have been a clean sweep for Amon, and then Brandon best jury question.
Exactly.
I know.
So he really made it hard for the jury. He did a really amazing job of taking what should have been a 100% obvious vote and really putting it on the fence and making it really hard. Yeah. Which is, tough to do.
It was amazing. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's interesting.
I only think it's important if there is one really big thing that you did that nobody knew. So I know not that many people caught on eventually, but if for the people who didn't catch on, if I would have been I was a fan the whole time, that might have helped me do that. But honestly, I don't think it means that much, because at least for me, I'm just so tired by that time that just done.
I think a point about that too is that correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Audrey says you can vote at any point in the process. So you don't necessarily even have to listen to all of the answers to the questions or the final speech. You vote immediately. So if you're set on somebody, nothing's going to change your mind.
Yep.
Do we like that? Yeah. No. I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
I think the voting should have to wait until afterwards.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess it's easier for me to add a vote.
But I see how that can potentially slow down the game, and with some minis already going so long, and by that point, I can totally see Audrey's frame of reference of wanting to have that out of the way.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's also tough if someone might be then swayed in the process of the answer they've already answered. And
my game, I feel I pitched my heart out. It was very on the fence. Dakota, I thought was going to win going into it, and I needed to convince people as to what I did. And I think my jury questions helped. If people voted right off the bat, I think I might have lost.
Yeah, I think you did a really good job, especially compared to Dakota. But
is it a bitter jury? Is a bitter jury a thing in this game?
I mean,
is there
I had
enough
one.
time to get real bitter? Like what? Who was bitter?
Frankie.
No, I mean but as a whole, can a jury really get bitter against a player? I know Frankie got his feelings hurt because he thought y'all made such a strong emotional connection.
I think in a game like this, when there's nothing on the line, and when there's money involved and things, and you feel like someone took that away from you, then I think people are more bitter. But in this, it's I don't know. And the Sequester community supports strong gameplay in general. It's not we're all model recruits.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, everybody respects the game too much to want to reward someone who didn't deserve it. Like, we're all super fans at the end of the day. We
That's
wouldn't
what
be here otherwise.
You know?
That's things about
I mean, this is some niche shit right here.
Yeah.
Like watching the podcast of the Sequester fan only Patreon mini. Like, you're talking about segments of the population that keep getting smaller and more specific. Like Tristen, like, oh, I've never heard of a game like this. I'm like, you wouldn't be here. Get the fuck out of here with this. What are you
You
doing?
don't stumble into a mini. You don't just wake up one day and are like, oh, I'm playing a mini tonight.
Sarah, how long did it take you to be like, yeah, that's fake news? Or did you actually believe me?
No, I believed it. I just didn't care. Like, to me, like, those are the people I vote out are people that I did believe you though. I don't know. I did think it was weird to like pay for, like, to not watch something and then pay for it, but I don't know.
Sarah, that's awesome.
That I believed it.
No, that you didn't give a fuck, that you were ready to cut his throat, and he was like, "Oh, that's nice. Like, where's my razor blade?" Like, what was like?
No, well, no. It's just like I want people in the game that want to be there, and so if you're like, oh, I don't know, what to do, like, I want those people out. You know.
That's-
I like that. I like
Sarah, I like that a lot.
Well,
That's why I told
that
him I was like, "This is a bad pitch." Like I would have maybe turned on him if he didn't switch his pitch up because I wanted people that were fighting to be there. You know.
Well, see, that was a big reason why when we were all muted, I showed I cared because I kind of wanted people to think that, okay, even though I'm not a fan, that doesn't mean that I don't want to be here or I don't care. It just means that maybe I don't have as much knowledge.
Yeah, well, that's just like how my mind like associates things. You know.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I spend so many hours studying Sequester, and then I fuck up at Final Four or whatever. Whatever.
Well,
All stars, Sarah. All stars. You're coming back.
Round by the end
All
of the
right, you
game.
want round 4? Ooh, I should read some tweets.
There you go.
I love
So
reading tweets.
while we still have a little bit of time, I do want to get to this because someone, Sarah from Brightest Game mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about the bonus mini that Audrey's talking about doing to celebrate hitting 500 patrons on the Sequester Access Patreon.
Yeah.
In honor of that, seems like she's going to be doing some kind of all-stars type season with the Sequester minis, and she put out a poll today on the Sequester Patreon. So if you're a patron, be sure to go and cast your vote, make your voice heard. Because there are some pretty interesting options that we have to choose from, and I'm going to go ahead and say them. We'll get our thoughts on them and wrap things up. So the options for the bonus 500 patron celebratory Sequester Mini are Heroes versus Villains,
Love it.
Patrons versus Sequester Alumni, Rival Players versus their shadow counterpart,
There you go,
and
Tony.
famous duos, known power alliances. So let's talk about this. Who's everyone? Or which direction is everyone leaning towards?
Heroes.
I like the hero. Who's first?
Whatever. Jacob, go ahead.
Okay, I really like the heroes versus villains, just because I feel like it's so many like dominant personalities that are deemed as villains, and I feel like we're just gonna see them on a 10th degree because they're already claimed as a villain. So we're just gonna see like 100% like evilness pour out. I think on the hero side it's gonna be a little boring. And I'm rooting for Wait, okay, I can't remember that. I can't remember the other one. So that's my one.
I want Muna. I don't care whatever it is.
Queen.
I want Muna back in this game. I think Shafira is going to be an amazing return. Like there's so many good. I think there's some good.
Yes,
there's some good rivals. Like if the thing is set up around people that have already had conflict and there is an established beef, like that's something you go into with it being exciting. Like I think that's something good. But heroes and villains, good as well. I think I'd be a great representative of the heroes group for sure.
Yes.
Definitely 100%.
Oh, villain 100%. Villain 100%.
Yeah, my
dare
pick,
you.
me and TR like have discussed this before, and that I thought it would be a great idea if we're gonna do Winners at War. Let's say you put Winners at War on a Saturday. On Friday night, you bring back all the biggest characters who haven't won. Heroes versus villains. Separate them into two. This is your last shot to get in tomorrow night, and just pit them head to head. It would be nuts. It'd be insane the way that people played, and I'd love to see it.
I love that idea. That's phenomenal.
I wouldn't be that.
Would you be offended though? Because that's going to be the better day. So would you be offended if the winner's game is worse?
Oh.
In
No,
general,
man.
I want to see this
The
thing
person who comes
move
in will be tired.
I want to see this thing move towards a more reckless and aggressive meta game for the Sequester in general. I want to see people putting themselves out there. I like that the stakes are bragging rights and that there's a combination of, did you win your season, which ultimately is the most important thing, but also do you make an impact on your cast and in the community? Like that's not nothing, coming out of this thing being someone that people think about, like there's some real value to that. And when you have a winner like Dash, for example, that like really excelled top of the line at both of those at once, it's awesome. And he does it by swinging hard. And I love it, even though I feel like ethically he made some questionable decisions. And maybe I'm sorry, I'll stop. Please, God, please quit. Please stop. I don't want to fight, Dash. I love you.
No, he does want to fight. He does want to fight.
Hashtag rivals.
Who are the heroes in Sequester, though? I don't know. I guess.
No, I don't know any heroes. I don't know any heroes in Sequester, TBH.
Jonathan, because he was in the military. That's the only one I can say.
Wait, I would be a hero.
Dakota for the COVID.
Definitely a hero. Jacob's a hero.
I'd be a hero.
Tristan would be a hero.
Yeah.
Really?
Like even Survivor heroes.
Tristan would be a hero.
It's all very
Tristan, you would be a
questionable.
hero.
Yeah.
It's all very questionable, the heroes and villains and who gets put on which side. They're not necessarily all like Courtney Yates is not a villain. Let's be
I think
honest.
Keely's a hero.
Who's not a villain? Did you say, Louie?
Oh, Courtney Yates. Like I'm talking like Survivor. Like if you're talking heroes versus villains.
Oh,
it's not.
I agree with you.
No, she's a villain.
She's such a villain. Have you watched her highlight reels? She is so savage.
That's like saying,
love
is Sandra a villain? Like I never view them as they're
There's a lot for
anti-heroes.
everyone.
Hey, he can get loud too. What the fuck?
To me, you could put them on either side, depending on how you want to cast it. So I don't think
They're
necessarily-
anti-heroes.
Yeah,
They're anti-heroes. That would be interesting. I saw the all women's.
I want to see an all women's cast, 100%, more than anything. That would be amazing. There's so many good women players in this community.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so many who probably haven't even played yet. Not just
get out there.
If you are a woman and you're watching this and you're on the fence about playing, of course I would say anyone on the fence about watching, but especially women, play. Please play. You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
Wait, I just saw Sarah G saying, Sarah, you're down for an all Sarah's cast. And I was actually thinking today, it would be funny if they got people with like two names, like
that is hilarious.
Two Sarahs, just because everybody like, let's vote out Sarah. They're like, which one? It would be so confusing. I think it would be funny.
Sarah G, Sarah H, Sarah Y, Sarah B, Sarah V. All that shit.
Wow.
It's like The Bachelor.
That would certainly make the wheels a lot more confusing.
Let's vote us out in like alphabetical order by last name.
Sequester, Sarah's versus Ryan's.
The first half of the alphabet is aligning against the second half of the alphabet in terms of last names.
I know. This is going all the way back to Survivor Borneo here.
There you go.
Yeah, Dr. Sean.
Yep.
Well, guys, any final questions from the audience? Any final thoughts from you guys? We're going to go ahead and start wrapping this bad boy up. Anything that anyone wants to get off their chest while we still have the platform here, please. That goes for the audience. That goes for you guys. Tony, you look, I can't tell.
No, of course.
Of course.
I'm playing my first ever long form org online reality game. I'm new to this community, but it's on Facebook and it's called DSBB, Demonica Santangelo Big Brother. And it's like a combination of Big Brother and Hearthstone. And she asked if I would just shout that out. Sorry, I should have gotten permission beforehand. But she's a big sweetheart. And this game is like a cross between Big Brother and Magic the Gathering. And it's pretty insane.
Oh, nice.
And I promise to be as much of a giant asshole as I am in this. If you want to come check it out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I saw one question in the chat by Gabe. He said, Jacob, think strategy. Oh, yeah, that's it. And my whole objective in this game was not to get out the loud, like, big players. It was to get out people who I thought would, like, target me at some point. And like was in my way of forming like my army, and who I didn't want even a part of my army. And so it wasn't really about like loud big players. I think that's just how like the pieces fell.
You said threats. which you were being truthful. Threats to Jacob.
Yes, that's it. And so, do I need to change my strategy? I don't know. Any moves you would get?
Anyway, and this can go for any of you guys who played last night.
Yeah, I have a regret.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I could have gotten a final 2. It would have been really hard, but I wish I at least put on more of a show. I regretted that.
Tristen, any regrets?
I guess. I mean, even though my thinking was good with it, I mean, it is kind of sad going home without even voting. But, I mean, honestly, I really felt like I was kind of put in a bad situation. And I'm just going to say this. Anyone who's watching this, when I play next, don't go for me first, because if I hear it, then I'm coming for you. And last night, when that happened, those people got out. So I'm just saying.
To go along with what you said,
even when you say it, it's adorable. I'm coming for you. Beware. Be careful. Tristan's coming for you.
Tony,
yeah, sure. Well, I mean, for Gabe, I think any advice that I give is incredibly dubious. I was voted out first, and nobody was talking game with me for about 2/3 of the thing. I was like, if there anything that saved me, I was just running around flattering people, trying to make jokes, trying to be a big personality and fun, and I just felt like I was just an absolute fucking strategic train wreck that had no real impact on the actual gameplay. Like, the game was happening, and I was the dancing clown who didn't know what the fuck was going on.
But that worked, because I remember you got
it did work. It was
Queen Keely became your biggest supporter, and she I think helped you because everyone worshipped every word she said, rightfully so.
I love Keely.
Yeah, no, she was your biggest supporter, truly.
Take her to the end. She deserves to win.
Now, before we get to the end of the official end of the podcast here, this is so embarrassing. I never do this. It's very unprofessional. But I have my wife and former player Mallory here. I really wanted to meet. She was a really big fan of Tristen. She was so sad to see him go, and she just really wanted to meet him personally.
Yeah, Tristen, back in the chat, I was such a big fan of yours. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Okay. He's a minor. He's a minor, Mallory.
You gotta get out of there.
Back off.
Oh boy. Okay.
Wait, I love watching Mallory play. The game she played, by the way.
She was almost first boot, wasn't she? Am I wrong? That was wild.
What? She was.
Wasn't she almost first boot?
Yeah, she almost was. She was.
She took so mad.
Room and that was the case.
They were scared by her video. Her video was.
She had a lot of personality in her video and was too personable, I think.
Isn't it? It's so well liked.
Now I'm gonna go solo for just a second, so don't leave everyone. But thank you guys to everyone who watched. We really appreciate the support. There will be, of course, more minis next week. We have Friday night's mini coming up. Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday night mini, of course. A bonus mini floating around somewhere in the next couple of weeks. We don't know where. But if you want to watch, go to sequesteraccess.com/live feed. There's videos on the screen on how it works, how to play. The actual videos to watch is down here. Leaderboard. You can see, Louie and everyone's names over there. I don't know which side to gesture towards, but there you go. That, of course, please, in addition to that, please become a member on the Sequester Access Patreon. Be sure to support Audrey. She has made all this possible. She's made, this show would not be here. We would not all be here talking. And so if you want to be able to continue to be here talking, we obviously need more minis to continue watching. So go be a patron, be a member. There's different payment options depending on how much money you have at the moment to give. But become a member and then start playing, and then we can have you be on this podcast. Wouldn't that be a blast? I mean, look at these people. Look at how happy they all are. Wow. That's the only testimonial you need right there. Guys, before we go, do you guys have any social, I'm going to assume, Tristen, you don't, but do we have any social media or anything we want to plug, anywhere people can follow you or, stay in touch with you if they want?
No, I was lying to Tony the whole time.
You do have social media?
He created a Twitter in the last 5 minutes while you're on that screen.
No, in all seriousness, no, I don't have any social media. So there you go, Tony. I lied to you again.
Well, hopefully you play another mini then, because
you're too young. You're gonna get caught by a predator. Like, don't sign up.
Tony, shut up.
God, let's hope that does not happen. Sarah, any social media you want to plug?
You can follow me on sequesteraccess.com. I play a lot, so. God, TR, because of you, so many people started following me on Twitter, and I don't tweet, and so I was really scared. It really stressed me out.
Sarah, I'm so sorry. Maybe now you're gonna have to put yourself out there and start posting memes or something or rants. Who knows?
Oh, I don't know. I have an Instagram, Sarah Yell.
Follow that. Jacob, what about you?
All of my handles are JacobJ_Jones.
Boom, simple, easy, love it. Tony, anything?
No, I don't have a social media.
Oh, okay, just like Tristen. Okay, Louie.
Rank and rate at on Twitter. Thank you, TR, for I think I had 10 followers when this all started, and I'm almost we're building up to 100 now. So I'm a Twitter celebrity.
Speaking of 100, we actually just hit 100 subscribers on this YouTube channel today.
Hey, good for you.
We've been up for 2 weeks. That's pretty cool. If you're watching and you haven't, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Tell your friends, share it, post about it. Come on, let's do it. Why not? You can follow me at TR Conradi on Twitter, Instagram, Byte if you want to watch funny short videos. If you miss Vine, that's there. It's fun. And we'll be doing more episodes next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to join us then.
TR, do you put like skits on like your YouTube channel or anything like that?
I get paid to make like sketches and skits. So
What's your Byte handle?
My Byte handle is my name. It's TR Conradi. I would encourage everyone to download Byte. It's great. It's basically it was made by the guy who made Vine. So if you liked Vine, it's the same thing but better. I make sketches on there almost every other day. So if you want to see me,
I just see them on Twitter. I
post some of those on Twitter, but I post way more on Byte. But there you go. With that, what you will. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Oops.
Bye.